Hey guys, I got all the tubes back in the radio and we're just about ready to go. One thing I did is I took a adapter tube socket, sometimes called a tube extender test adapter socket, and plugged the 50L6 audio output tube into it. What that does is it exposes the signals on the pins to these little metal tabs going around the outside here. And with that in place, I can measure these voltages on the top side without having to poke around underneath the chassis, which makes this much nicer. Over here, they were nice enough to supply on that 50L6 what the voltages should be. So I'm going to go for the highest one here, which is pin 3, which should be 116 volts when I reach full operating potential on this set. The power cord I ran over to my isolation transformer, which I actually have plugged into my Variac, and I've got that set to about 50 or 75% output. What that will allow me to do is power up this set with low enough voltage that will reduce or minimize blowing stuff up. Hopefully, if I've done my wiring wrong, but it's enough voltage that the tube filament should light up and I should get some voltage readings. So here we go. I got this turned off, so I'm going to turn this on first. I'm going to turn this on. Oh, that also has a fuse on it, by the way, which is a nice thing to have. And see my voltage is rising here rapidly. So the tubes warm up. 95 volts. Should be enough to hear something, but I think I have the volume turned down all the way. Hey, not bad. Obviously it's working, so I think I can go ahead and turn this power up all the way to about 120. And so here, that's WBBM already. Let's check this voltage again now, which is 121 and a half. Should be 116 on this, but it doesn't surprise me too much. One, my Variac isn't perfect. Two, the line voltages now are a little bit higher than they were in the past. It says on here that these voltages were measured with a 117 line voltage. I think mine's 120 plus, so yeah, this will be slightly higher, but that's okay. Anyways, the fun part.
He apologized for his company's handling of safety defects.
Plenty of volume. In fact, almost that's too much volume. I have this turned down all the way, and I can still hear a little bit of volume. And if I just slightly touch this, the volume really goes up.
Only by shoddy pedals or bunched floor mats. One congressman lectured Toyota's top.
Yeah, I gotta take a look at that. This control might even be a little bit shot. So I'm getting very little. If I just barely touch it, the volume is very loud.
Most embarrassing documents I've ever.
And then stays pretty loud as I rotate it. So that's not very practical.
Consult outside experts on the need for recalls.
Down 2 and 2 and start all the way at the far end, lowest frequency. Probably AM 550. DePaul basketball. WGN, I think. So AM 720.
This bill will take into account those low-income seniors.
Sounds pretty good.
Need this the most, and they will still be eligible.
In fact, I think it sounds better than this Philco up here, which is what I normally listen to in my workshop, which has a little bit of buzz to it. Probably needs an alignment. I'm psyched about this because I don't think I'll have to do an alignment. if things were sounding really weird, distorted on these stations, I might have to follow the alignment instructions, which would involve using a signal generator like this guy to simulate an AM station, feed a signal into this, and then adjust with a special tool down into these coils. And there's some trimmers on this tuning coil capacitor here. But, I rarely have to touch with those because, usually these things have been working for, from the day they were made, and if you don't touch those, you shouldn't need to. If it's been working all this time. Or nobody's messed with it. Worst case scenario would be if somebody had tried to modify this maybe for shortwave or something and really mucked around with the settings on this. This one seems okay. I want to try now. Sometimes these radios are very directional with these built-in antennas. So you can hear what it sounds like now. If I rotate this 90 degrees. Yeah, that doesn't change much. Good. I know with this Philco, it's very noticeable when I change it. But on this guy, the antenna is wound. Turn this around here. The internal antenna is wrapped or wound around the case, so it's like a flat ribbon. Whereas this one is wound this way, so it's like a flat disc. So maybe that took out some of the directional elements to it, which is good. We've got plenty of ethnic stations in Chicago. I'm in the Ukrainian village, so there's plenty of that around here. It's a real melting pot around here. Too bad there's not much music on AM radio anymore, though. One of these days I'm going to get a kit and I'm going to make my own AM transmitter so I can broadcast my own material over low power to all my radios. But hey, there you go. Just like that. I know it was from your point of view it's been about a week or two, but in reality probably take away about 5 hours from start to finish in this radio. And quite honestly, I could have done a lot faster if I wasn't recording these videos for you guys. I'm going to put this back in the case and show you a couple final things.